Have you ever trusted someone so completely that you never imagined they could betray you? Someone you loved more than yourself. Someone you sacrificed everything for. Someone you would have gladly given your last dollar to if they had simply asked. I did. And that person was my daughter. The day I discovered she had stolen my retirement money was the day my entire world collapsed. But what happened afterward changed both of our lives forever. My name is Eleanor Thompson. I'm 70 years old. And this is the story of how losing everything taught me the true meaning of family, accountability, and forgiveness. I wasn't born into wealth. My parents worked hard their entire lives just to keep food on the table. Growing up, I learned two important lessons. Work hard. Save money. When I married my husband, Robert, we built our life from nothing. We rented a tiny apartment with peeling wallpaper and broken kitchen cabinets. Money was always tight. But we were happy. Robert worked construction. I worked as a school secretary. Every paycheck mattered. Every dollar had a purpose. We didn't take expensive vacations. We didn't buy luxury cars. We saved. Slowly. Patiently. Year after year. Then our daughter Emily was born. The moment I held her in my arms, everything changed. She became the center of our universe. Every decision we made revolved around giving her opportunities we never had. When she wanted piano lessons, we found a way. When she needed tutoring, we paid for it. When she dreamed of attending a prestigious university, we worked overtime to make it happen. We believed education would open doors. We believed hard work would guarantee success. For many years, it seemed we were right. Emily excelled in school. She graduated near the top of her class. She earned a business degree. We couldn't have been prouder. At graduation, Robert squeezed my hand and whispered, "We did it." I smiled through tears. Yes. We had. Or so we thought. The first warning sign appeared shortly after college. Emily got a good job. The salary was impressive. Yet somehow she was always broke. At first, I assumed it was normal. Young people make mistakes. They learn. They mature. But Emily's financial problems didn't improve. They grew worse. She bought a luxury car she couldn't afford. Then a larger apartment. Then designer clothes. Then expensive vacations. Everything looked perfect on social media. But behind the scenes, debt was piling up. One evening she called me crying. "Mom, I need help." My heart immediately softened. What happened? She explained she was behind on several payments. If she couldn't catch up, her credit would be ruined. Robert and I discussed it. We didn't want her to suffer. So we helped. $10,000. She promised she'd repay us. She never did. A few years later it happened again. Then again. And again. Each time the amount increased. Each time the promises became bigger. Each time we believed her. After all, she was our daughter. Parents want to believe the best about their children. Sometimes that desire blinds us to reality, then tragedy struck. Robert suffered a massive heart attack. The doctors did everything they could. But it wasn't enough. After 45 years of marriage, I became a widow. The grief was unbearable. The house felt empty. The silence felt endless. For months I wandered from room to room, unsure how to move forward. Emily became my primary source of support. She visited frequently. She called every day. She helped with paperwork and finances. I trusted her completely. In fact, I trusted her more than anyone else in the world. That trust would eventually cost me everything. Before Robert died, we had accumulated nearly $400,000 in retirement savings. It wasn't a fortune, but it represented decades of sacrifice. Those savings were supposed to support me during my final years. Without them, my future would be uncertain. I never imagined they were in danger. About a year after Robert's death, Emily arrived unexpectedly. The moment she walked through the door, I sensed something was wrong. She looked exhausted, nervous, desperate. "Mom, can we talk?" We sat at the kitchen table. The same table where she had done homework as a child. The same table where Robert used to drink coffee every morning. She took a deep breath. "My business needs help." I frowned. "What kind of help?" "Financial help." My stomach tightened. "How much?" She hesitated. Then she said the number. $100,000. I nearly dropped my coffee mug. $100,000. The request felt unbelievable. She explained that her company was struggling. Investors were threatening to leave. She just needed temporary assistance. According to her, success was right around the corner. I listened quietly. Then I said something I had never said before. "No." Her eyes widened. "No? No, Emily." For years I had rescued her. For years I had protected her from consequences. But this time was different. I was 70 years old. This money represented my security, my future, my survival. She argued for over an hour. She cried. She begged. She promised. But my answer never changed. No. Eventually she left. Angry. Hurt. Furious. I felt terrible. But deep down, I knew I had made the right decision. Or so I thought. 3 weeks later, I logged into my retirement account. Immediately something looked wrong. The balance seemed much lower than usual. At first I assumed it was a mistake. Perhaps I had clicked the wrong account. Perhaps the website was malfunctioning. Then I looked again. My heart stopped. Nearly $300,000 was missing. Gone. Vanished. I couldn't breathe. My hands shook uncontrollably. I called the bank immediately. The representative reviewed the account. Then she placed me on hold. Minutes felt like hours. Finally she returned. "Mrs. Thompson, several large transfers were made from your account." I felt sick. "What transfers?" She listed dates and amounts. Each number felt like a punch to the chest. The money hadn't disappeared. Someone had taken it. The bank launched an investigation. I prayed there had been a mistake. A computer error. A misunderstanding. Anything. Days later, investigators contacted me. They had identified the person responsible. The transfers had been authorized using personal information. Passwords. Security questions. Details only someone close to me would know. Then they revealed the name. Emily. My daughter. I stared at the investigator. Unable to speak. Unable to process what I had just heard. Surely there had been some mistake. There had to be. But there wasn't. The evidence was overwhelming. The person who had stolen my retirement money was my own child, drove directly to Emily's house. When she opened the door, she immediately knew. Her face turned pale. "Mom," I interrupted. "Did you do it?" Silence. The silence told me everything. Tears filled my eyes. "Did you steal my retirement money?" Finally she nodded. I felt as though my entire world shattered. "Why?" She started crying. "I was going to pay it back." "Why?" "I didn't have a choice." "You always have a choice." For nearly an hour she tried to justify her actions. The business was failing. Creditors were demanding payment. She was desperate. But none of those excuses mattered. Nothing justified betrayal. Nothing justified theft. Especially from family. When I left her house that day, I felt older than I ever had before. Friends encouraged me to press charges. Family members were divided. Some begged me to protect Emily. Others demanded accountability. The decision tortured me. I barely slept. I barely ate. How could a mother send her own daughter to prison? But another question haunted me. How could I ignore what she had done? Eventually, I realized something important. Love without accountability isn't love. It's enabling. And enabling had helped create this disaster. With a broken heart, I cooperated with authorities. The legal process began. The courtroom felt cold. Emily sat beside her attorney. I sat alone, listening to details I never wanted to hear. The investigation revealed shocking information. The business had already collapsed. The debts exceeded $500,000. She had lied to everyone. Friends, investors, employees, family, even herself. When the judge announced the sentence, Emily cried. So did I. Nothing about that moment felt victorious. Everyone lost. The judge wasn't punishing my daughter. He was punishing years of bad decisions finally catching up to her. Months passed. Then one afternoon I received a letter. It was from Emily. I almost threw it away. Instead, I opened it. The letter was different from anything she'd written before. There were no excuses. No blame. No manipulation. Just accountability. For the first time, she admitted the truth. She had spent years avoiding responsibility. Years believing someone else would rescue her. Years expecting consequences to disappear. She apologized. Not for getting caught. For causing pain. For betraying trust. For becoming someone she barely recognized. I cried while reading it. Then I cried again while reading it a second time. Over the next several years, we exchanged letters regularly. Slowly, something changed. Emily stopped acting like a victim. She started acting like an adult. She attended counseling. She learned financial responsibility. She worked prison jobs. She saved every dollar she could. When she was released, she didn't ask me for money. She didn't ask for favors. She got a job. Then another. Then a promotion. For the first time in her life, she accepted responsibility for her future. Trust wasn't restored overnight. It couldn't be. Trust is built slowly. one honest decision at a time. 5 years later, Emily knocked on my door. She looked different. Healthier. Happier. More mature. She handed me an envelope. Inside was a certified check. The final repayment. Every remaining dollar she owed me. I stared at it in disbelief. Then I looked at her. She smiled through tears. The money mattered, she said. But what I really stole was your trust. I couldn't speak. She continued. I've spent 5 years trying to earn that back. At that moment, I realized something extraordinary. The daughter standing before me wasn't the same person who stole from me years earlier. She had changed. Not because life became easy. Because life became difficult. And she finally faced it. Today, our relationship isn't perfect. Some scars never fully disappear. But it's honest. It's real. It's built on truth instead of excuses. People often ask whether I regret reporting my daughter. My answer is always the same. No. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is allow someone to face the consequences of their actions. Losing my retirement money was devastating. But losing it forced my daughter to confront the person she had become. And ultimately, it gave her the opportunity to become someone better. In the end, what happened next truly changed everything. Not because money was recovered, but because a broken family found a path toward healing. And sometimes, that's worth more than all the money in the world.